everyone. Welcome to the WOW Podcast, episode number 11, where we are connecting and empowering women through sports. I'm Jade and GeNienne, and joining me virtually is Janine Samuels, and Stephanie DeJokian will join us later on in segment 3. But first, I need to introduce our very special guest. We have Kelsey Nelson with us. Kelsey is a freelance journalist that has worked with SB Nation, NASCAR, ESPN Radio, Fox Sports Radio, the Big East Digital Network, and now the WOW Podcast. Hi, Kelsey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. So excited to be here.
Yeah, and we're excited
Kelsey,
to have you. It was so cool just reading about your bio and everything that you're involved in. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So excited to talk sports with the ladies.
We are excited to have your insight and expertise for sure. But before we get to know you more as a woman, we need to take advantage of having you here on the WOW. So let's dive right in. The speculation is over. We officially have a 2020 Redskins draft class. Let's dive in and talk a little bit about the first 4 picks. No surprise here. First round, number 2 overall from Ohio State, defensive end Chase Young. Coach Rivera made it very clear that was his guy, and he went for it. He is someone who he feels is going to carry this load for the Redskins and will be super impactful right out of the gate. Kelsey, what are your thoughts on Chase Young?
Yes, I'm so excited that we grabbed Chase Young at that number 2 spot. It was the only right decision to make. And we always love when DMV people come back home. I can say that as a DMV native. And so we're glad to have him back. And he joins, of course, fellow people from the DMV on the Washington Redskins team, including, of course, our quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, who has roots in Montgomery County, Maryland. But getting to play in PG County, where he's from, where he went to school, it's exciting. And then he joins this defensive front. That's going to be pretty scary now. I think everyone's going to be a little bit more scared of the Washington Redskins, getting Jonathan Allen, that extension back, and then Ryan Kerrigan, Montez Sweat. I mean, adding Chase Young to this just makes this team so much more stronger. And I think we're not going to see offenses get to score a lot of points on the Washington Redskins. And then what Chase Young can do to quarterbacks, if I'm on the other side, I'm going to be a little bit more scared now having him rush at me. So I think it was a phenomenal pick. Jack Del Rio has to be excited. All of Washington Redskins Nation is excited. So it was a perfect pick on our part.
Yeah, and I just want to add, by far my favorite moment of the draft, and honestly probably of any draft that I've been a part of or seen so far, is when Coach Rivera makes the call to Chase Young and asks to speak to his father, and wanted his father to relay the good news that his son will be playing in the NFL and is officially a Redskin. It just really showed me that, gave me chills. It's on Redskins social media. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It made me really proud to be a part of this organization, and it truly showed that football is family. So I was excited to see that and see Chase Young wearing the burgundy and gold soon.
Yeah. And his dad has roots here too. Went to Bowie State University, gets to see his son play at home. So you just see we're keeping the talent in the area, which is really exciting.
And definitely, I'm sure all of his friends, definitely his family that is right here, super excited to have him stay home and back home. But let's go now to our round 3. Number 66 overall, we grabbed running back Antonio Gibson out of Memphis. What are your thoughts on him?
He's one of the most exciting players, very versatile. He can play running back, but he can also play wide receiver. I mean, he even described it himself. He said he's a weapon, and that's how I think the Washington Redskins are going to use him. He adds just another phenomenal element to this Washington Redskins offense. I know Dwayne Haskins has to be one of the happiest people right now because they really looked out for him on that front. And he said some of the people that he looks up to, Cordell Patterson, Alvin Kamara, if he's modeling his game after players like that, only so much good is in store with him. And so, again, he can be used multiple ways. I think the Washington Redskins are going to have this dynamic offense that really defenses are really going to have to start to prepare for. So, again, another great grab, and I have to give the Washington Redskins props.
Yeah, and, I am such a data person, so I want to know all the stats. And so with him, he broke 33 tackles on 77 career touches at Memphis, ran a 4.39. Fast guy at the combine. And what's even more interesting is that he basically found himself in the end zone every 5.5 times that he got the ball. So a lot of talent there.
Yeah, so anytime someone can get in the end zone and score touchdowns, we are happy people here in Washington. He can do that. It means we're going to put more points on the board. So I know they're really excited to get him to work and starting with this offense.
Yeah, and just amazing stats overall. So let's move on to round 4 with 108 pick overall, Sadiq Charles, offensive tackle out of LSU powerhouse. What are your thoughts here?
it was the perfect combination for the Washington Redskins. Of course, we saw after what happened with the Trent Williams departure, grabbing him, it was a perfect fit for Washington. And now to have him, someone that, I mean, he played soccer in high school, 300 pounds at that. He was a shot put champion. He has a lot of experience. And let's remember, he's coming from LSU. He knows what it takes to win a championship. So I think to have someone like him in that locker room, again, Washington is only getting stronger, only getting better. And I think now there were questions with Trent leaving, but now I think we have the answer.
Yeah, and just one little side note on him, was given the Joe Moore Award, which is only given annually to the best offensive line in the country. So congratulations to him on that as well. Let's move on to our next pick. Jade, I'm going to send it over to you.
Absolutely. I am super thrilled about this pick. Round 4, we got 142nd overall from Liberty University wide receiver Antonio Gandy Golden, better known as AGG. Redskins wanted that big body receiver, and that's exactly what they got.
Correct. I mean, 6'4", 223 pounds. He has the size that you want in a wide receiver. He's done everything. If you watch his film, he can break tackles. He gives a mean stiff arm. And also, he can catch that deep ball. So we have a deep ball threat. And then also, off the football field, I think he's a phenomenal player. He does the Rubik's Cubes. I mean, he bowled a perfect bowling game. I think just him outside of football is the guy that you just want to stand around and learn from. Just a good personality to be around. But again, another offensive weapon. And now Washington, again, will be able to put up more points with him. So really excited to watch what he can do on this offense.
Absolutely. You took the thought right out of my head, Kelsey. I was going to say this guy is a jack of all trades, not just on the field, but in general. He can juggle. He can solve a Rubik's Cube. He's a graphic designer. Like you said, he recently took up bowling and bowled a perfect game. He's a gymnast. He's raised animals. This guy is a go-getter, and he sees a challenge and he takes it head on. And not only does that, but he's successful at his craft, and he does what's necessary to do that. And now, you know, he can add being a Washington Redskins wide receiver to his resume, giving quarterback Dwayne Haskins a huge outside lane presence. And I just love this pick. Any other final thoughts on the draft or just anything in general, Kelsey, before we wrap up segment 1?
Yeah, and I think just going on Antonio, I mean, he was a person that produced since his freshman year in college. So again, he's been proven for a long time. But I think overall, being in this area, this is the most excited I think we've all been about a Washington Redskins draft class in a while. It's refreshing. I feel like, again, Ron Rivera is bringing in this new culture and this new era. And I think we saw it begin with this draft class. I think only good things to come from here.
Yeah, this is just, 4 of the amazing picks that we have. And so there's a lot more conversation that needs to be had in future podcasts. But that's the question that I was going to ask you is, what are you hearing out there? And it sounds like the same as what we're hearing, that there's a lot of excitement and a lot of energy about this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, even just on Zoom calls, I see more people wearing their Washington Redskins gear. You see people running to the stores, donning the Redskins face mask now, because everyone's really excited. And I think, again, it started with Chase Young, having a player that's so valuable and so good to lead and dominate that class. And he said he's ready to work. I mean, his coaches were saying it's hard to pull him away from the game film. Like, Chase, it's okay. You're drafted now. You can relax a little, but of course, still be serious. But he wants to get to work right away. And a lot of them have Redskins blood in their veins. I mean, their families were Redskins fans. So, again, I think it was just a perfect coming home. And Ron Rivera has really started to craft a phenomenal Washington Redskins team for this upcoming season.
Absolutely. I know just yesterday I ordered my Riverboat Ron t-shirt. I cannot wait to wear it on all of my Zoom calls. Before we wrap up, I want to give a quick plug. Project 11, if you haven't seen the advertisement yet, it is the documentary on Redskins quarterback Alex Smith's recovery. It debuts tomorrow, Friday, May 1st at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. This guy is resilient, and I know I am very much looking forward to seeing it. Next up, we dive into learning more about who Kelsey is. Stay tuned. Sign up for FanDuel now and get $5 in total bonus. Just make your first deposit to get started, and you'll get an extra $5 in site credit. Go to FanDuel.com/FFT or download the FanDuel app.
75 tons of game day trash and recyclables need to find a home. So when the final whistle blows, our team hits the field. As an official partner of the Washington Redskins, RTS is connecting FedEx Field with smarter waste solutions to ensure a more sustainable and responsible approach to what's left behind at the end of the game. RTS, a better waste company. Find out more at rts.com.
Welcome back to The Wow, connecting and empowering women through sports. As I mentioned earlier on the show, we have special guest freelance sports reporter Kelsey Nelson here with us. Kelsey, thank you so much for weighing in on the Redskins draft. But I want to take this segment and focus on you and what makes Kelsey Kelsey and allow our women to get to know you as a woman. So first off, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to where you are now.
Sure, delighted. So first off, it's so exciting to be here as someone who's from the area. I'm a native of Montgomery County, Maryland, went on to the University of Maryland to go Terps, and also went on to Georgetown University for my bachelor's degree. So I am a local. I grew up watching the sports teams here and now getting a chance to cover them. It's truly a dream come true. I think I'm living proof of that. And also now I get to teach. I'm a teacher at Doral College. I teach an intro to podcasting and radio course. So I'm giving back on the journalism front, and it's something that I never thought that I would be doing at 27, but look, here I am. So it's been really fun. I do radio, I do TV heads, and I just get to cover all the professional teams in the area as well as our college teams. And what a time it's been in DC. We have championships on championships on championships. So it's been a really fun time to be a sports reporter here.
Yeah, and speaking of being a sports reporter, you know, it has been, for the most part, a male-dominated industry, but luckily women are entering more and more every single day. So tell us a little bit about what's the most rewarding part of your career, and then maybe also the most challenging part.
Sure. So I think the rewarding part is simple, and it's the question that everyone asks me. Wow, like you get to go to all the games, you get to be around the players, and you get to live out your dream. I get to work in sports. Like that's my job. I get paid to do it. And I get to just storytell. And that's what the heart of this is. That's why I got my degree in broadcast journalism. So I think that's definitely the most rewarding. I think the most challenging part can be all the long hours that you put in. I am always that friend that cancels on happy hours and anything else fun because something comes up and I have to go do a work assignment. So I think that work management, kind of that time management is one of the harder parts. And you said it, being a woman in a male-dominated field, there always comes challenges, but at the same time, I think it's so rewarding to get to overcome those challenges and help to pave the way for more females to come through the door.
Yeah, and I love your comment about, like, we literally have the best seats in the house, right? So even as, for example, a professional cheerleader, and then now being the in-game host, being a reporter and down on the field, it really is it's like you're part of the game, you're part of the environment. Right. And that is extremely rewarding, especially when you get a win.
Exactly. It helps, right? You get to be there to celebrate with the fans. I get to talk to fans during the tailgate parts. Like, it's so much fun. And again, I get to storytell and bring sports home to the people. It gets no better than that. And that's what I wanted to do since I was 3 years old. And now I'm getting a chance to do that.
Absolutely, Kelsey. You just hit on this, but a lot of the times we focus on, the shortcomings or what it's hard about being a woman in sports and in a male dominant industry. But what are the benefits of being a woman? You know, what helps having that woman's touch in the sports industry?
Yeah, I think everything gets better with a woman's touch, but just going off of that, I mean, it's like you need that diversity. You need that different voice in the room. And I think we view the game differently than males do that sport. And I think that's what makes us so valuable. I go back to the Super Bowl in Miami this year that I had a chance to cover. And I was one of probably a few women actually broadcasting live radio on Radio Row. There's not a lot of women in sports talk radio. But I ended up going on so many other journalist shows because they wanted that. They wanted that perspective. They wanted someone who could still talk the sport, but again, from a woman's point of view, and just view the game differently. So I think, of course, there's still a way that we have to go to get more women in the room. But at the same time, when you're the only one that can cater towards you, because people realize that, and people want to make sure that you have an opportunity for your voice to be heard. So I think that's something that's continuing to grow. We still have a ways to go, but it's been definitely something that I've been proud to hone and represent as a woman in sports.
Yeah, awesome. And you're talking about, of course, we all have a ways to go, right? So it's all about self-improvement and showing up as the best version of yourself. And you are successful and you're doing your thing, and your website was absolutely amazing with all of your credentials and everything that you've done so far. But there's something about likely your daily practices and the things that you do every single day that kind of help you show up as your most authentic self. So what are some of those things that kind of keep you motivated, keep you moving, and keep you pushing every single day to strive?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I always have just positive affirmations I give myself. So many times I feel like we're taught to ask the question, should I be in this room? Well, my question is, why should you not be in that room? If you're in that room, it's for a reason. And now you have to work to make sure that you stay in that room and that people also know that you're in that room. I was always taught from a young age from my parents, if you go in a room, someone should know who you are walking out in a good way. And that's what I think I'm always working towards. So again, in the morning, I tell myself, this is me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to get better and better each and every day at it. And then I think also you have to treat any job like it's your last. And I think you have to give everything to that craft. So I'm always studying game film. I'm always reviewing notes. I'm always just talking with other journalists, switching ideas, and just always just trying to grow that craft. So I think each and every day I have a goal to learn something new. And that's something I really value. And I think now more than ever, with all of this time that we have working from home, everybody should probably be learning 2 things a day now, just to get better at their craft.
You teed me up perfectly for that. I was just about to ask you, we're living in this new normal, unfortunately, right now. And I wanted to get your take on how you are adjusting and adapting now, that we're working from home, how the sports world is adjusting. We just saw in the draft, new innovative ways they're doing it. And also, what are your tips for women that are working from home, or just self-care tips or mentality tips to keep morale high?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think now we have to make the most of your time. I mean, I think this is all of the things that you were putting off. Now you can no longer put them off because you have the time to do them. And so I think now is the time to really, set out your goals, look at your vision board, see what it was that you wanted to do and actually put it to work. So I know me, there's a bunch of shows I've been wanting to put out. I just haven't had the time, but now I'm live streaming them. And I have a lot of great guests coming up. And also, guess what? Guests are easier to book now because they're also at home. So I'm taking advantage of that. And then also, I think I'm spending more time with my family and just getting to spend closer time with them because, yes, working in sports, it takes away a lot of that personal time because you're always on the road. You're always kind of on that go, 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 go. But then also, I'm getting a chance to work out more. I started yoga. I had never done yoga before. I'm just getting a chance to really, I think, get to know myself better and really plan for my future. And just, again, make the most of every day because I think now I'm losing track of the hours because you're doing so much. But at the same time, I think it makes you sometimes just stop, think, and relax. And I think sometimes we live in this busy world that we don't get to do that. So getting a lot more self-reflection time, but also creating content and making sure that I'm always one step ahead because, again, I think sports is really competitive and you always have to find a way to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, so I know we're almost out of time, and I am a complete tomboy, but one question that we did want to ask you was about your pageant experience. And so I'm going to literally throw the ball or the crown over to Miss Jade to ask this question because that's her wheelhouse and not necessarily mine.
Yeah, we talked about this, I think, before we started recording, but I just wanted to get your take, being a former title holder myself. What did you learn from your pageantry experience and just being a part of that competition environment? And how has that helped and aided you in your life as well as your career?
Yeah, well, much like GeNienne, it's funny. I grew up a tomboy, so when I decided to go into pageants, I think it was a little different for my friends. But when I looked at it as a challenge, and I think I was really looking for that sisterhood feel that you get from the pageantry world. And also, I think it made me more confident in myself. I think public speaking is something I'm so confident at now. I don't think about it twice. But I think in pageantry, I really learned how to respect that art and talk to any and everyone. And so I think it's something I cherish my title as Miss African American United 2016. And now it's great to be on the other end, helping other girls realize their dreams. And my platform was education and closing the education gap. So I think I really also got a chance to just find the best practices and ways that we can make sure all children are learning, especially now in this time where they're having to do remote learning, and just making sure that we can all achieve our dreams.
That's wonderful. I love the whole having platforms. Jade, remind me what yours was again, if you can.
Well, it was helping children deal with grief. I went through some really tough losses at an early age, so I spent time helping develop curriculum and therapy tools and focus groups to help kids that were going through life-altering crises. So I love talking to former pageant queens, and it's just funny how we all still have a servant's heart and how you're still giving back through teaching or also helping other girls. So congrats on your title. And I was really excited to have a former beauty queen on the podcast with us. Unfortunately, our time is coming to an end. Before we let you go, can you please tell our listeners where to find you if you want to give any plugs where they can follow what you're doing?
Sure. So it's simple. My website is KelseyNicoleNelson.com. On social media, The Real K Nelson. And you can find me on Facebook by searching Kelsey Nicole Nelson. And also check out my podcast, Listen In with K&N, on Fox Sports Radio and on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we are recapping the wild pre-draft party, and I heard a couple of Redskins greats have some words of advice for our new Redskins rookies. That's next.
Whether from the sidelines or in the classroom, whether your chalkboard is for X's and O's or vocab words, Whether you're a pro football coach or Mrs. Johnson at George Mason High School, the Washington Redskins believe in the power of great teachers. That's why we're partnering with youth entrepreneurs to bring Washington, D.C. teachers the resources they deserve. In response to the coronavirus pandemic, Youth Entrepreneurs has launched Teach Everywhere, a place for teachers to call home while adjusting to teaching at home. The resource contains distance learning activities, resources and tools, and a series of webinars from expert educators. Visit teacheverywhere.org to learn more.
To help during this time, Subway restaurants are offering a free footlong when you buy 2 family takeout special. Additional charges for extra free sub of equal or lesser price at participating restaurants. No additional discount, not valid on delivery. Free delivery is also now available through all applicable providers in the market. Use promo code Subway now to waive all delivery fees on your next purchase. Limited time only, select areas, $0 delivery fee. Other service fees and limitations may apply.
Now more than ever, it's important to keep your car ready for anything. And at your local Honda dealer service department, you're in safe hands. Safe hands that are expertly trained using only Honda genuine parts. Safe hands that will take every precaution to keep your car clean and sanitized. Safe hands that follow strict CDC guidelines, working with gloves and covering all commonly touched surfaces with plastic. And best of all, safe hands that will work on any make or model. Because with Honda, you and your car are in safe hands. Contact your local Honda dealer for more information.
How well do you know the Redskins' new head coach, Ron Rivera? Test your knowledge for a chance to win a football autographed by Coach Rivera. Visit redskins.com/get-to-know to take the quiz.
Welcome to the Wow Overtime, and welcome back, Stephanie GeNienne. It is so great to see your face.
Thanks, guys.
We just wrapped up a great interview with Kelsey Nelson. Do you have any thoughts on Kelsey's insight as well as her her background?
Well, love that she's a local girl. I think that her experience that she added with her football knowledge was very interesting, and just the way that she took her experience from pageantry to build upon, what she's already interested in, which is sports, but took the initiative to build on education and the gaps that she's filling now. I mean, how young is she and already teaching at a university? I'm inspired by her. So very lucky to have her on.
I know. I want to take her podcast intro class for sure.
Right?
Stephanie, I heard there was a Bump and Wow pre-draft event with some Redskin greats. So can you just let us know what happened there?
Absolutely. So we had our pregame draft party, Wow and Salutes. It was sponsored by USAA, and GeNienne was our amazing host. She did a great job.
Yay.
Thank you. About 100 people between Salute and Wow attended, and Mike Nelms and Santana Moss, our wonderful alumni, did some great Q&A, gave us some interesting insight into, when they were drafted, which was really some great stories and some advice we'll talk about later. We had a family, military family, win the Hail to the Redskins singing contest, which was amazing. And if anybody wants to see this, it's actually on redskins.com under videos. You should check it out because it was very entertaining. What do you think, GeNienne?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. When we first kind of opened up the room for people to join, the numbers just went up so fast, and I just was getting so excited and so pumped. And even though I couldn't see everyone, I could see the names coming in and the people coming in. And I just started to get excited about the upcoming season. And the draft hadn't even started. This was the pre-draft party. So it was just very energizing. Fast paced. There were a lot of questions coming in for Santana Moss and Mike Nelms. And I just think overall, both Wow and Redskins Salute, and obviously with the help of USAA, did such an amazing job in just creating that energy for everyone. And you mentioned the advice that both Santana and Mike gave, and that was probably the most profound part of the entire experience. And I wanted to share that with everyone since this is our empowerment section. So one of the questions I asked them was, hey, we've got, some men that are getting ready to have life altering situations coming with the draft. And what piece of advice would you give them as they are starting the next chapter of their lives? And I think that the advice that they would give to the picks really apply to all of us. So I really wanted to share those. So number one, they said to focus on playing ball, studying film, staying fit, and basically working on your craft. And it's interesting because Kelsey mentioned the exact same thing earlier. She said that every single day she tries to learn something new. And so that's something that we can all take into account, is that whatever profession you're in or whatever profession you want to go into, and whatever you want to aspire to be, you have to work on those skills. You have to hone in on your craft and make that a top priority. And we're always talking on this podcast about living in your purpose. So I thought that was great. Tip number 2 was take care of your home and focus on yourself. So just making sure that you not only are taking care of your family and, your wife or your husband, your children, whatever it is, but then also remembering that you have to make yourself a priority as well. And I know that we always talk about making sure that you put your air mask on first before you help others. So really just focusing on your family, but then also taking that moment to also focus on yourself. And then tip number 3 was to find a veteran, find a mentor, find a coach, find someone that you trust that can really help you get to where you need to be, or at least guide you in the right direction so that you learn from their mistakes and you don't make the same mistakes yourself. And one of the things that I joked about as well, during the event is Mike now said, well, basically the guys just need to stay out of Stupidville. So I was like, okay, that is the new hashtag stay out of Stupidville. And it's funny, but it's so true. Like, just kind of think before you act, think before you speak, think before you take action, and just stay away from the things that you know are stupid. So anyway, I just thought that advice was absolutely amazing. And of course, y'all know how I am. I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of share maybe which one of those 3 items kind of, resonated with you the most and which ones you're going to take action on.
All right. I guess I'll go. I think, Rhonda Williams, Doug Williams' wife, said on a podcast, don't be afraid to seek guidance from a professional. And so when they were talking about finding a mentor or a coach, that's what I am looking to do. So my intent right now is to hone in on mentors. I currently take a bit here and there from many people in my life. Both of you, my mom, Nancy, one of our only one female VP at the Redskins, Jermaine Williams, who we had on our podcast, Jamila, and so many others. But I think as I build on this, what I'd like to do is keep in mind what it means in looking for a mentor. So first and foremost, stop thinking of mentorship as something you get and think about it as something you do. Let it happen. Maybe some of the mentors you really want are taken, so you can still watch them, take mental notes, follow their examples. And if someone naturally takes an interest in you, then take hold of it, because it can be a life-changing gift. I have a few more steps for this. Focus on integrity. Choose someone to mold yourself after who has integrity. Watch how they handle challenging situations, tough conversations, and setbacks. Pick someone who shares your values. Values are a person's default positions when no one is watching. Find a teacher. Look for someone who enjoys sharing knowledge and is delighted to impart skills, contacts, and expertise, not someone who hoards them as a way to maintain power. So, and just talking to Kelsey, she says she loves to learn something every day, and she's already sharing that with others on a podcast, with us, and with students. Seek someone with a network. Obviously, networks take a lifetime to build. And if you found a mentor who's adopted your career interests as your own, you'll be introduced into a whole world of context that it would take you otherwise a while to develop. And if you're given the gift of a warm introduction, I know sometimes it can seem awkward, but don't blow it. Respect the gift. Find a leader who cares about others. Choose an optimist. They tend to get more done, have deeper relationships, and are more reliable. It's like being a cheerleader, right? It's a key trait in finding the perfect mentor. And don't be put off by straight talk. Sometimes you need to hear about yourself. And my last note, I know I'm talking a lot, is just more thoughts using my Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra meditations that I've been doing. As we seek this legacy, obviously, that's what we're hoping for when we're seeking a mentor. Remember, your legacy is actually what you do every day. So every life you touch, every person whose life you ever moved or not, every person you have harmed or helped. So now look at your daily life from that perspective. So that's my 5 cents.
That was wonderful, because it's something, and don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid to ask for someone to lead you and guide you, because a lot of times that prevents us as well. Jade, really quick, can you tell us what area you're going to focus on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've said this on a couple podcasts, but I'm focusing on taking care of myself first. I tend to really stretch myself and spread myself really thin, taking on a lot because I want to achieve so much. So I'm actually using this time during quarantine to really focus and take care of myself. I just love Uncle Mike is what I call him. I've been fortunate enough to travel on a couple military appreciation tours with the First Ladies. And he always has just such great life advice. When I competed for Miss Virginia USA, he actually sent me a hype pep talk video like he would do in a locker room. And it was just awesome. And I think these are life advice and tips to be successful and thrive. And it's pretty much universal across most professions, and they hold true on a personal level too.
Yep, I definitely resonate with that one. So number 2 is mine, but we want to make sure that everyone out there, this is your wow goal for this week. Which of those 3 are you going to focus on? And then take action, small actions, at least weekly, daily is even better. So number 1, focusing on your craft. Number 2, taking care of your home and your family. Or number 3, just finding a mentor or coach to help guide you along the way. So that is your wow goal for the week. And we want to hear about it. So make sure you post and let us know.
And I'll make sure that you're following the Wow Redskins on all of our social media accounts. Make sure you're subscribing, downloading, rating, and review the Wow podcast. We love to hear from all of you. Make sure that you attend the Wow Cinco de Mayo virtual happy hour on May 5th at 5 p.m. All details can be found for that event on the Wow Redskins Instagram and Twitter accounts. It has been a great show, ladies. It is so great to see you in a time like this and making sure that Redskins are still together even though we are apart. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for listening to Wow.
Bye.
Even though COVID-19 poses an unprecedented challenge, you can count on Novec to deliver reliable power and to help in other ways. Novec.com offers tips to save energy while spending more time at home. Novec customers can monitor their energy use online, as well as pay bills through the website or by phone. And anyone can donate to help neighbors in need through Operation Roundup. Novec, power you can count on.
I'm Robert Wilkie, Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs. 155 years ago, President Lincoln called upon us to care for America's veterans. Today, you can help answer that call. We are looking for physicians, nurses, and other medical professionals to help protect veterans from the coronavirus. Go to va.gov/join us or text VA physician or VA nurse to 97211.
Work is work, but there's nothing like a good workout. Tennis, mountain biking, a good run, sweating off the week. That's what weekends are for. Of course, a misstep could put you out of commission. That's why Innova Sports Medicine is here for you. We treat your injuries and recovery like you're a pro. In fact, Innova is the official sports medicine partner of the Washington Redskins. See how we keep you on top of your game at innovasports.org.